In this box, I have something that is awesomely unique that is going to pair very well with my fireplace entertainment center. Let's look inside. And this is everything out of the boxes. So we have our actual heating element, our tools, wheels, and then we also have the entire build process. It's like IKEA, so let's put it together. Okay, so as we're going through this, each one of these little packages has a letter on it. So that's a B, that's an H. So the first thing we need is we need 4 H's and 4 B's. And then the 2 pieces we're gonna use over here is an 8 and a 9. For both of them, we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna put the B's, which are the metal bits here. These are gonna go on the outside of those holes. And then the inside, we're going to grab the dowels and we're gonna put them in there. But for each one of the dowels, we need little spritz of glue on the inside. So I'm gonna put some glue in there and then put that down in. And then whenever we put something on top of that, so anytime anything touches one of these dowels, we're gonna put a little bit of glue on it. So now we're gonna grab the 8 and the 6. This is what the 6 looks like in this orientation. We're gonna get the 8, make sure we put glue at the end there, tip it over, and it's gonna go inside the 2 holes there and the 2 holes there. And once we put those inside, we'll need to get 2 of the A's, which will go and lock these in. Once we put them in, we can tighten them up. So those will go into those 2 places. And then we also have to get one of our dowels. So an H, this one is going to go into this guy right in the middle. And then we also have 2 of the B's, which will go into these 2 holes here. All right, so I just slipped over the top and you can see that little piece is sticking through. So we are gonna get the A's. These ones you can see has a little arrow up top. That is always going to go towards what we're hooking it onto. So this is gonna fall directly over. You're gonna have to wiggle it around a little bit for it to fall into place. Maybe push, there we go. And now that it's in place, you can see the minus and the plus. We want to lock it into place. So we're gonna grab our Phillips head, drop it in there, and we're gonna turn it to the right. And it should be about 90 degrees, right about there, maybe a little bit more, but you can see it'll grab onto that and pull it in, and it'll lock it in place. So the next one we're gonna do is gonna be just the same. So you're gonna grab the 9 that you just built. We're gonna grab the 7 and do the same thing. The dowel is gonna go right there. I've already got some glue on it. Both of your pieces right here, those metal screws are gonna go in, and then we're gonna put this on its side, put it in through the holes in there, pop these in once they do, and tighten them up. Wonderful. Now we are going to take the 2 that we just finished completing, so the one with the 6 and the 8 and the 7 and the 6. So both of these, we're gonna face them up just like that. So the dowels are facing in, those are facing towards me, and we're gonna get a number 5. 5 is gonna be placed just like this. On the ends, you see you've got those holes there. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the end of these, and then we're gonna pop it in on both sides, squeeze it together, and we're gonna lock it in place. We're gonna need 4 of these. They're gonna come right in here. So 2 here, 2 here, turn them until they click, and that's it. And once that is all complete, we'll put that off to the side. And now we need a 9 and an 8. We're gonna need 4 of the dowels, and again, 4 of these little screws. Look just like this when we're done. So the 2 dowels are gonna be on the inside holes, and on the outside holes, we're gonna have the 2 metal screws on both sides. Next up, we're gonna grab the 9 that we just created and one of the 12s. And we're going to use the 9 and do the same thing we did last time. We're gonna put it on its side. We're gonna slide it into here. And where these metal screws go in, we're gonna drop in our A's and then tighten them up. And once we're done with that, we're gonna move on and do the exact same thing with the 8 that we created, grab the other 12, and we're gonna do the same thing. On the side, pop it in there, put the A's in, and tighten. So those are complete. We're gonna put those off to the side for a second, and we're gonna work on this one. So we're gonna grab the 4, and the way that we're going to have this positioned is you can see it's pretty much the same all the way around, but on the sides over here, you can see there are 2 holes, top and bottom. So I'm gonna have those on the left and right. and we're going to put in 4 dowels and 4 of the screws, and those are going to go all around the number 4 to look just like this. So all of your pegs are gonna go on the inside and all of your screws on the outside. And now that we're all finished with the 4, we're going to grab 8 and 12, the one that we built before, and we're going to slide it over the top just like so. Make sure you put the glue onto the dowels. And once we get that piece onto our number 4, we're going to grab 2 of the A's and we're gonna put them in this hole, and we're gonna do the exact same thing for our 9. So we're gonna grab our 9 and 12 that we created before. So it looks like we made our first mistake. So you can see this one was done correctly. All the holes are on the inside. The instructions misled us. So when I made this one, all the holes are on the outside. So I'm gonna have to grab this and swap it to come on this side, so all the holes are on this side. So as you can see, this one is faced like that. So if I was to put this one in, all the holes are facing out and nothing on the inside. So I need to swap that. There we go. That looks a lot better. So all of those holes and whatnot are gonna be on the inside. And for number 4, if you don't know, the holes are gonna be on this side, not on the outsides. Again, we'll set that off to the side with our other one we've created, and we're gonna jump over to a new one. We are now going to grab 14, and it's gonna be facing up like this, so the indent is gonna go towards the floor. Also, the holes will look unique on this one, where you have 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, etc. through. We're also going to have these 11s with that stripe facing down, so it's gonna look like this. And we are going to use all of the screws in the R package, so all 6 of those. And these are the very small dowels that come with it. These are the S dowels. So we're gonna use all of these and all of these. So I have all 4 dowels set into place in their respective holes. I've got glue on each one of them, top and bottom. Now we're going to grab the 11s. You can see that there is 2 holes there. We're going to align the holes up on both sides and set those directly on top. And then once we do, there's going to be 3 screws on each side in each one of these holes. We're gonna put a screw down and screw it in. So once it's all done, it will look like this. Now this next step is up to you whether or not you want to do it based on where you have this in your house, is to add the wheels. Now I am not going to add the wheels here because I don't want this thing rolling around because it's going to be on a hard surface. So I'm going to keep it just like it is right now without the wheels. But if you did want to place those on, you grab the wheels, you put it down, you grab this pack of L screws, and you just put the screws through the pre-started holes for you. So if you are gonna do the wheels, do those first. If not, then keep following along. We're going to need to grab our dowels. We're gonna need 8 of these, and we're also going to need the same amount, 8 of our B's. And once complete, will look like this. Your 2 metal screws are gonna be on the outside corners, and then inside of that, the dowels, outside, inside, and then same thing on the other side. Next step is to grab our 2 15s, and we're also going to grab 8 of the B's, and we're gonna place them in each one of these holes, so 4 up there and 4 down here, and that's gonna make a total of 8. Once both 15s are set up, we'll place them on their sides just like that, 2 holes up top, and the big holes facing inside. We'll also grab the 10s, do the same thing. So holes facing in with the little loops and whatnot are at the bottom. Got the other one right here. And these are all going to fit together. So these 2 holes, or these 2 pegs are gonna go into 2 holes on the side of that one, just like that. And once we put all of this stuff together, slide them in, we're gonna use 8 of these pieces. We're gonna pop them in both of those, and then same thing on the inside here and tighten them up. And once we're done with that, this is what it's going to look like. Everything is nice and solid together. And what we're gonna do is this striped edge is actually going to be flipped to go on top of our outer ring. This is going to be the bottom of our stand. So each one of these pegs and screws that we put in are gonna go into each one of these holes. And once we do, we're gonna need 8 more of these small little lock-in pieces for when we actually put this down, you can see they will go inside each one of these to lock them in place. Once complete with this, we're gonna grab it and we're going to flip it over. And you'll need 14 of the dowels, or the H, and you're gonna need 10 of those little screws, which are the B, and we will get them put into all of these ridiculous amount of holes. This is gonna be how we have it oriented. So we have the two gigantic holes over here that are not going to be used, and this is where all the dowels go. You can't really screw it up because they won't fit in these smaller holes. You can see that these are different sizes. So if you wanna take a look, that's where all of the dowels go. And then for the rest of the holes, except for these two big ones, we're gonna put the screws. And this is what it's gonna look like after we're all finished. So after that, we're gonna go over to a pieces that we've already finished. The one that has the 5 in the middle, we're gonna grab that one. And we're still going to have this one with the holes facing the right. And if we look at this one, the 8 is gonna be the furthest away. We're gonna take this and we're gonna put it directly on top. And once we do, all we need is 4 of these A's, and they're gonna go inside both of the holes that align with those two and those two. Once we get those pieces locked in, and this is all one piece, the next thing we're gonna do is grab the little fireplace. So the window is going to be facing out this way, and the cord is gonna be facing towards the inside. And once we snug it up on the inside, it's going to look like this. So it's gonna be flush on both sides. Now we can grab our bag that's labeled T, grab these screws. There's gonna be 3 on this side and 3 on that side that we're going to have to screw in ourselves. And once you get all 6 screws in there and everything is nice and solid, we're gonna move on and grab the other one that we made with the 4 in the middle and do the same thing we did over here. So as we look at it just like this, looking over here, that's the 9, this is the 8. We're going to pick it up and drop it directly on top. And once we do, same thing. Each one of these will go into each one of these holes, and we're going to add our A's into these, and there's going to be a total of 6. And once that beautiful piece is locked into place, that is what we have so far. I've also routed the cord down underneath there just to make it nice and clean. So now we're gonna start to move on to the cabinets and the other stuff that's gonna go around here. So next up, we are going to get number 2. This is the piece that's gonna fit right on top. So what we're gonna do is grab this one, and we also need 2 L's, these little screws, which are the same ones used for the wheels at the bottom, and also C. So this is the magnet piece for the cabinet. When you want to attach this, there are 2 spots that you can attach it to. You can attach it here, and you can also attach it here. The reason why they have 2 different ones, but only one of these, is because, well, it only is going to attach to one spot. The part that is magnetic that it's going to be attached to, which is this little thing, it just magnetically attaches to that. That, it depends which one you go with, depends on how you want the door to open. So either you want it to swing out one way, or you want it to swing out the other way. It's up to you, but remember, it's gonna be opposite if you think about it, because this is gonna be flipped up, so it's gonna be facing down here. So if you want it to open, so this is how our current setup looks like. If I want the door to open like this, so swing out to the right, I want the magnet over here on the left, which means I need to put it on the right on this side, because once I flip it over, this is going to be on the left-hand side. So looking at it like this, if you want to have the door open one way, put it there, other way, exactly what I said. So pick which side you would like and screw it down. And once you get that set to whichever side that you desire, next up, we're going to grab 12 of the B's, those little screws we've been working with this whole time, and we are going to put them all around here. And once you're all done, this is what it's gonna look like. Pretty easy, just fill in all of the holes, all the small ones, and just leave the big ones open, and you'll be done in no time. All right, for this next step, we're gonna need a few things. We're gonna be using our number 2 that we just got done putting together. We're gonna need our USB hub. and also the plug-in that comes attached to that, so that whole setup. And then we're also gonna need our 2 O screws. We're gonna need 12 of our H's and 12 of our A's. So looking at this, the one with the magnet is the front. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna flip it upside down, and we're gonna place it right here with the front facing this direction, the open one, not the one with the fireplace. Place it up like that, and it fits in there very, very snug. Now, where I'm not going to put anything in yet because I want to grab this, plop it in there, and feed this cord all the way through the bottom, just like I did that one. And once you put it through and route it all the way down, we're gonna grab the 2 O screws and screw it in place. Now you can have this face either direction, it doesn't matter. And there we go, I've got that one installed beautifully. Now if we look down here, you can easily tell which ones we need to put the little wooden dowels into. So I'm gonna grab all these, I'm gonna go around, I gotta lift this up just slightly, and put those wooden dowels in each one of those. And once each one of those dowels are placed in there with a little bit of glue, I just need to add some more glue on top. Take this and we'll seat it down in place. Once we do, we'll grab our A's, and of course, same thing with this whole thing. Once these get down in, we'll place the A's in there, turn them, and lock them into place. Some of these can be easier to get to, so this is your little cabinet area. You can get all the ones in there pretty darn easy, but once you get those, you're gonna have to squeeze inside here and get 1, 2, 3 over there, and then same thing on the other side. You are still able to get a full-size screwdriver. You just have to make sure your arm fits through here. All right, almost done. So let's grab the number 1, looks like a picture frame, and then we're gonna grab 4 of these B's. We're gonna go around each one of the corners. You can see each corner has 2 holes. We're gonna go with the smaller hole, just like we usually do for these ones to fit in. Once those are in place, we'll come over here and we're going to put the dowels in each one of their slotted ones. They're gonna be the ones towards the outside on each one. Then we are going to grab this. This is going to be the bottom, so we're gonna grab that and then flip it over and lay it on top. And again, those are gonna go through here. We're gonna need to get 4 on each one of those big holes of our A's and do the same thing as tighten them in. Once we get that on top and lock it down, it's looking pretty good and almost finished. Almost. We just have to do that up front. But real quick, we're gonna put the J's, which are these little stickers, over these big old holes up here. And I might as well take these stickers off now. All right, moving on to the front. We are going to open up the G, which is gonna be 4 of these. These are just gonna be our little placeholders we're gonna put in on either one of these rungs that we have on the inside. So this is where the shelf is gonna go. So either high, mid, or low shelf, you choose. And once those are put into place, you'll get your last little separate board out here. This is number 3, and we'll place it inside here. Boom, we've got a shelf. Let's put on the door and finish this out. So here's our last little bit, is our door. So you can see we've got a single hole when looking at the front. So first thing I'm gonna do is put the knob in. So we're gonna grab the knob, and we're also gonna grab F. It's a single screw. Put that through here. F goes on the opposite side and threads through the back of this, through this hole. And next up, it really depends on where you had your magnet set up and how you want your door to open. But based on how I have mine set up, I've got my knob there and I have my magnet here. So when I do have this and I open it up on the right side, I have my magnet up there and my magnet over here on this side, so it'll latch itself closed. Next up, we're gonna grab K, which is this one with a little nub at the bottom. And then we're going to grab 2 of the D screws, which are these little teeny tiny ones. And we're gonna put it on the bottom. Again, this depends on how you have your door set up, because I just showed you that's how mine's gonna set up. Mine is gonna be hinging at this bottom corner, which means it's going to be this corner here. So it seems I found the next mistake. The way that the instructions say, it says to put the K on the bottom and I on the top. Basically, these are the two. So we've got one, they're basically opposite. So if we look at them side by side, one has one on the right and one has one on the left. All you have to do to get these in the right place is to put them both on here at the same time, but I did it the opposite way. You want them close to the edge. The way that I had it was following the directions. I had this one down here, so it put the nub on this end facing down like that, and it does not fit in that little hole area when I test fit it. So make sure you check these out. So that is close to the edge, that is close to the edge. Both of these will use D screws. All right, and once you get this situation done, again, it can't really be put on at the same time. So another issue in the instructions. So before we get everything ready, the last little bit is these little nuggets. These are gonna go in here. It's just something for these nubs to rotate in. So because mine is on this side, I'll put one there. I'll have to put this one on up here. It's not going to stay. So I'm just gonna keep that one up there for now. But the issue is this is just not big enough, or it is too big. So I can put the bottom right down in here, but the top is not gonna be able to fit. So I've got to take the screws out of this one and then set it in there, put it in while it's in there, and then screw it on while it's in. And there it is, finally completed. I've got everything set up. I just need to get it all plugged in, and I love it. It is super solid. It doesn't feel like super cheap wood of any kind. I probably need to take that sticker off. What do you think? Do I need, yeah? Okay. I do need to take that sticker off. And last but not least that I'm gonna do is, I know shipping is never super perfect or whatnot, but once you go through and try to clean off all the dust and fuzzies and whatnot on here, they do include one of these. So it's a pen. She really wants to be in the videos. There's a little pen that you can use for things like this. So one of the stickers actually ripped off part of this. So you can use this, and the dog will eat it, and it will clear this up. So let's see how that works. And it is pretty much gone. You can't see it. Maybe if you got like a flashlight and really inspected, but as far as I can tell, this is just a marker that is the same color as the wood here. So if you have any scrapes or anything like that, grab this, go over real quick. No one's gonna notice. And here is the new living room. Everything plugged in. We've got a beautiful little fireplace going right here. It gives a little bit of a hum. Now, if you want to turn it on, just flip up the other one. Pretty quiet, and it puts out a ton of heat instantly. There's no warm-up period or anything, but it's a pretty warm day, so I don't need that. But it looks absolutely phenomenal. Let's see what the other side looks like. And either summer or winter, you can come and switch this around. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is the best thing for something for, I'll show you the bedroom, where you have something up against the wall, because then it becomes pretty much useless. And we want to make sure that both sides, the storage side and the heater side, are able to be used. So this thing is amazing for this little spot right here. I'm gonna fill in some more stuff and really use that little cubby to its fullest ability. And once it gets to, you know, the hotter months where I don't necessarily use that all the time, then I can use that, swap it back the other way, and I can use the cubby in the front. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I really do recommend this. If you do want this product, of course, look down below and enjoy if you have one too.